All right, let's see if this is going to work. And if Hannah's going to make it in. She thinks she's here, but she's not yet. Hannah!
Hi.
I think this one's working. I think I reconnected it, and it's less cranky now.
That's good. And it works with the original link too.
Does it?
I think.
I don't know.
That'd be nice. Maybe not. Well, it's linked up in the comments to the original live.
I don't even know.
Same.
I know I show up for these. Okay, let's see if we can find Lori. She's here for us.
She says, I think I have the right live stream link now. How are we getting comments, but there's no one in here with us?
I don't have any comments.
Did you click on comments on the side?
Yeah.
I'm even logged in as you. I can definitely see what you see because you're going to have to invite me in my separate profile for me to join this. I'm not paid.
I have literally no clue what's happening right now.
In the top right of your StreamYard dashboard, click comments. And we can
It's open.
And
there
you're
are
not
no comments for me. All you did was remove your video.
Yeah, I was gonna leave and then I was like, maybe I should invite myself in another way and see how I show up in the other one.
Okay, Lori emailed us, so she's definitely trying to show up. I do see there's yes, Lori. I see a comment from Lori.
I can see all of them and I'm in your profile.
I don't think you're in my profile, girl.
I promise I am. That's how I'm here twice.
Okay, this is terrifying.
In your profile, you can see all the comments.
I can see Lori's comment, my response twice, and then I can see woohoo. That's it. I'm just telling you what I see. Hannah's gonna fight me. Laura's here too. Guys, I'm really glad you found it because I was like, this isn't happening. We can't figure out how to connect to this today.
So complicated. And old video stuff, yeah.
Yeah, somehow it said it was doing like a pre-recorded video and it was just using our old video. Anna, you're gone again. What are you doing?
There was a reverb and I couldn't figure out how to remove myself without ending the stream in your profile. So I just exited out of the browser in my profile so as to not mess up the live stream again. We're both within your profile and I don't have to hear you twice now. Or myself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Today became way too complicated.
Ooh,
Super fast.
right? I do not have the energy for this. All right. Y'all, let's chat.
There are... Okay, I found you in my stack of things. Laura and Lori, our main people who were able to find us again. What questions do you have for us? Other than how the heck did we mess up a live stream that bad after some pretty good traction recently?
I know we've done like 2 months of live streams at this point, and I don't know.
It's because I tried to make a reusable studio so that I could share the same link always.
I don't think that works the way you think it works.
Yep, we learned that the hard way, didn't we? As most things go with me and technology. That's fine. Ooh, Laura has a pattern question. Yay! Hit us with it. We're excited to answer your question. We're excited.
Ooh, okay. Okay, while that comes in, I'm going to set up a side I can work on. How do we do that? Guys, I'm sick and my brain is just not working. What's the website we use for the temporary?
Insta WXYZ.
Thank you. I'm looking for a shadow box. Ooh, I'm gonna need more details on that, I think.
Wait, did you just get a comment before me?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. So like drop shadow and styles?
Possibly.
My favorite thing is to remove it. Okay. Let's go look on Laura is join me in the kitchen. Can we go stalk her prep time listing block? Do you have a link you could send us, Laura, of where this pattern is? Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have a drop shadow.
Yes, I can show you a couple ways to add drop shadows.
I know one way.
Well, I mean like different places potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And like where we want to add it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What you laughing about?
I think that doesn't work like you think it works. It's gonna live rent free in my brain until I fix it.
I'm pretty sure the recurring thing through StreamYard is just the StreamYard Studio link. You still have to create an event for Facebook and YouTube every time.
Mm,
Okay, back to my Southern roots.
bummer.
I know that's what you were trying to avoid. I don't know if Facebook has a way to do recurring lives.
They do. I
Okay,
just know that it's gonna link.
connect.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all fine.
Okay, so I'm on back to my Southern roots. And we want to do. Oh, so maybe we want to do. Oops, sorry. I'm telling you guys, my brain is like half gone today. Share screen.
Mine is basically always gone, so there's that. I threw away my AirPods earlier when I meant to throw away something else. Then I had to go digging for them in the trash can.
Is this what we're talking about here? Yes. Okay, cool. Let me look at how she has that set up. There's a couple things we can do, but in terms of like adding that background color, but what's interesting to me is maybe how she has this designed because I'm doing something like this with another client, and we set it up differently. Okay, so she's using a table for this. Sorry, I know I'm cheating, guys. I'm a cheating cheater and I'm looking at code. But essentially, she's using a table, and I'm going to show you how we can insert that block and then customize some of it. And we can poke around. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one open. And then I started up this site. I think last time I used the same thing. It's a little slow. So we'll just have to be a little patient. Yeah, so if you're manually listing them, it's going to be really similar. So we're going to add a table block, and then we're going to manually add this content. So she's just like writing it out as well. Oh, look at all this. Okay, so let me just do a new page. It doesn't really matter for the demo purposes where I do it because it's not pulling anything from the recipe card automatically. It's doing it all manually. So she has 4 columns and 2 rows. And then essentially, I'm going to see if I can copy paste this. She's writing all of this manually. So this one's 6 hours, 5 minutes.
I'm with you, Laura. I also usually just list things. It's prettier. I like our list blocks.
Time and then prep time. Okay, so at the most basic level, this is what she has. I know that we want to style it a little bit, but I just want to show you that like this is what she's inserted. I can actually show it to you a little more accurately, I think, if I change the template to be with sidebar. If I save and I open that, here it is where it's side by side. With the sidebar and the content, so it's a little thinner. So this is like the completely unstyled version. We don't have a pattern of this, but you can easily make one. So let's look at how we do that. I actually haven't used this table block before, so this is going to be new to me a little bit. The reason I don't like tables very often is because, like we saw on mobile, they don't always collapse. And so I'm wondering if there's a different way I could style it too. You know, I'm a little extra and I'll do it another way. Okay.
Well,
Of course I will. Add a caption. I don't want that. I think she has custom styles, and we can't necessarily change this one to be the background with the current, like, I look at this, her header layer is probably white by default, and then like it starts with white and then goes to gray, and ours is going the opposite direction. So if you wanted it to be like very specific, you'd have to look into a little bit of custom CSS because there's not a lot of options in here. But we can do like the border. So she's got a border, we can add that. You'll notice that it's applying it to all the borders. So if you just want it around the side, what I would probably do myself is I would group this and then add a border to that group. So it looks more like this.
okay.
So we've got something that looks pretty similar to hers without having to do anything custom. I know our colors are backwards. I don't know like how important that is. That would definitely be some custom CSS. But do we want to play with a way where it'll collapse, or do we just want to like, this is good, leave it alone, Lauren?
Where's the drop shadow?
Well, I think what she meant by drop shadow was the different colors in the text above and below. But if we do want to add a drop shadow to like the entirety of the table, underneath border and shadow, click on shadow, and then choose this last one. And so now it like pops a little bit. There
Okay.
are other shadows you can choose. This is just the one that I use all throughout the theme. So like this one's just a little stronger. Let
Yeah.
me see if you can do that directly on the table. You can't. So you, in order to get some of these effects around the table, you have to put it into a group and then apply those styles to the group. Just from
Cool.
the limitations of it.
Yay, we have approval. Correct. I like it. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. I need
That was
positive
fun.
vibes today. That was great.
That was fun. I have some people that are like adding these in from the recipe card. But then you can't really style it as much. So if you're willing to like do it manually, then you have a lot more flexibility, especially like with different patterns. If you want to play with it in different patterns, there's a lot of options there.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So Lori asked about the recent newsletter we sent out. We had screenshots of some of the custom blocks that were specifically made for Baked and Branded. And so shot this post and then the pretty text tips and tricks. I want those in my life since I'm not on Baked and Branded. How do I get those created? Okay, cool. So I think there's a couple different things. First of all, let me see. Can you remind me, Hannah, which ones there were? I know the shop one, but the text, pretty text tips and tricks.
Go to with
That's gonna
sidebar
be
in the footer. Can't you do that or no? Post.
sidebar. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe this one.
No, that's
No,
inside.
that's
Post
actual.
content. Okay.
Okay.
Then you should see them all within here. So like tips and
Ooh,
tricks.
so we have like this one.
And I think I used Julie's tip for success and the other list up top, just like all of them with those pulled away images.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so one second. Let me cough with the microphone muted.
Lauren is so sick. I'm so thankful that she is here. It's hard to do these without her.
I
Breathe.
definitely like
Oh,
I would love to go home today and I was like, actually I have an appointment after this anyway, so I couldn't even. Um, I'm on some good meds. I love the tips and tricks and why you'll love.
yeah, I feel like it takes boring text and just makes it actually visually appealing for your readers and something that would otherwise just be a list that's blah. So it makes me happy.
Let's
Oh,
see. Excuse me.
Lauren's going directly to the source.
Yeah, so I wanted to see you have this shop.
Mm,
So we can do, I'm going to do this on your site, Lori, so that you'll have whatever we create. We can save it as a pattern.
beautiful.
Oh, actually, back to this real quick. Laura, if you wanted to save this as a pattern, you would just make sure you have that group, create pattern, and then you can name it whatever you want. I'd recommend putting it inside of one of the creator groups just so you know that it's one of your styled ones because we don't remove any of the default patterns, but you're probably not using all of those. So I would throw it into one that makes sense for you. Okay, we're going to do that with Lori.
Patterns. Lauren has a plugin for that.
I have one to like disable patterns you're not using.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna log into Lori's site, guys, but she's got, hold on, let me take this off for a second while I log into her site.
Privacy. Woo. And then you're going to do shop this post. And then the pretty text tips and tricks. I feel like both of those already exist through her custom theme previously.
I was gonna look and see what we already have for her. I was like, we'll check and see.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
And if we created an all blocks thing for her, not that we imported, that's okay. Okay, so clicking on plus patterns, Lori says her mind is shot. Girl, same. Okay, Lori's patterns look a little bit different because we removed content from hers before we had like a good way to keep content in with our plugin. So we've got some CTAs, but yeah, we don't have a lot of like in post stuff other than these call outs right here. Cool, let's make some.
Can you copy the exact ones we have in Baked and Branded and just give them to her?
Yeah, they won't look exactly right out of the box, so we'll
Yeah.
play with them. But yeah,
Okay.
we can do that. Let me check real quick underneath query loops. Of course, none of the names show up right here. Oh yeah, she has a lot of query loops. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just like Hannah said, I'm gonna totally cheat and copy paste them. The way that blocks work is because we're really not using custom blocks almost anywhere, like the custom blocks we have are plugins that are through small plugins. And Lori, I know that you have that. But basically that means that we can copy paste blocks between different themes. And while they might not work perfectly out of the box, like it does give you a pretty decent like starting layout to see kind of what you can do and just modify from there. So I'm going to do all three of these, and then I'm also going to grab a product one, which I think is somewhere else.
And I'm going to have a moment for a disclaimer. Developer Lauren is like, oh, I'm cheating. And literal Hannah is like, oh, you're giving Lori exactly what she asked for.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
like,
so
no, it's
here's
easy. I should bake it from scratch.
Why did I make this so easy for myself? It should be harder. Okay, so this is our page. I'm going to make this private and then I'm going to publish it. Do, do, do. How do I make this private? It's one of these status. No, that's what I already clicked. If I can customize it, we're good. Girl, but I want to customize it.
I knew that
I'm
was.
not making this private. You're gonna have to do it on your own, Lori. My brain doesn't work right now. I don't even know how.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, other than missing a background here, these look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I would change this, but I think I have custom styles in the other theme. Okay, just a little bit of tweaking. Just a tiny bit.
We all trust you. All right,
We
guys.
totally trust.
Let's see how long a little bit of tweaking takes.
Okay, so I'm putting it on a sidebar so we can see what it looks like side by side. This one looks pretty good to go. We're just going to change the colors to match her brand. So this list marker color, I can't remember which one we use. I feel like we use this one throughout the site.
Yeah. I'll go make a kitchen whisperer circle. Oh no, her logo's already a circle.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
And then because she has this background, I'm just going to move that image in a little bit. So it's got this negative margin. And remember, we do that with like classes because WordPress doesn't like negative margins, sort of, kind of. I just made that a little smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good. This one, I'm going to add a background to it. So it must have used a background color that like doesn't have the same name on Lori's site. So it's already on white when it displays here. So we just put, I mean, you can make this brighter, but I like to keep everything like neutral and then let you customize it. And then this one, I want to remove the rounded corners because we don't use that on Lori's site. I want to remove this little image here because, well, actually, let's see if Lori has something we can use.
She
She wants
says.
to do her logo. Oh, cool. Okay, so let me remove the border radius, and then I'm just going to change this logo or the icon. I'm going to look for anything that's an SVG. Look at all the icons that are being used. This is so fun.
Ooh.
We have.
I love that one.
Me too.
Can we use it, Lori? There's a 2-minute
Okay, we're going to change it in a second.
Oh,
I think it looks really cute. I want it to be like a little less offset because the spacing on her site. So I'm going to change those negative margins. That one, sorry. And then I want to make it a color. So I'm going to use this duotone setting, and shadows will change anything that's black. This is why if you're using like icons, I recommend uploading them at full black so that it becomes the exact color you want it to be. And let's make it like a pink color. Oops, over here.
So cute.
I like that. Can I change the title now so that it's pink too, or is that too much? It's so cute. Okay, so the background on these, we're going to change the color. Oh, you said I can change the title?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
But if you're going to do all this, please make Julie say Lori since it's going to be a pattern in her site.
Yes.
Like, Hannah, that's too far. It's one word. No, it hurts my
You've
heart.
asked for too much. What color do I want these to be?
Lori's site.
Maybe this.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I change out this image too?
That's your call. You go as far as you want to with your tweaking.
Wait, I think Lori mostly uses this image. We're going to change this to literally any image that's on her site. We've got these. For these little circles to look different, I'm going to show you how I do that. It's going to hurt your brain a little bit in some cases. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then honestly, I don't feel like there's anything I need to do with this one right here. Maybe I'll make these titles black, but this pulls in from your shop, Lori. So whenever you add this block anywhere, it's a query loop. So as long as you have the query loop selected, this block right here, you can come in here and then you can pull in products either by like a certain category that they're in, or you can use this to say like, these are the exact, 4 products that I recommend for this recipe. Okay, so let me just change the titles to black. Okay, and then we're gonna code a little bit right here. It's gonna be totally fine. It's gonna be totally fine.
You said you're gonna make our head hurt. So the products pull from what I have
Yeah.
listed in the shop. Yes.
Yes, yeah. So anything that you have in your shop, so if I'm in the back end for you, do over here, any of these. So you can add anything new and like put it in whatever category you want or don't, and then it'll pull like most recent if it's just doing the regular, query loop. But you can choose like specific items, which is probably what you'll actually do. Okay, so back over here, we can actually close that. I'm not going to save those as patterns, Lori. I just showed you and Laura how you can do that. But then that way, if you want to change anything out on here before you actually save it to your database, you can. Although, really, once you save it to your database, it's still super editable. You'll go into manage patterns. And then anything that you've created will not have this lock icon, and you can edit those. So these are all ones we created through the theme, so they have a lock, but once you create the pattern, it'll be completely editable. Okay, so I just want to make this look a little bit different. The way that I do that is there is CSS and there's like specific variables, and I'm just going to change a couple of them and then upload it to Lori's site through the edit site and the custom CSS.
Oh.
I know, I just want to change the size. So I think we're going to take this code right here and we're going to change the width and the height of it. And I think that's it.
Cool.
Put it
Okay.
on in.
Yes, Laura, you'll edit it however you want, select it, and then save it as a pattern. And now you have this lovely page with all of your fun new blocks.
Okay, I like this. This
Yep,
is all the code I'm adding. I looked at the code that I had written previously in here, stole this selector, changed the height, the width, and then I just wanted it to be bold. I don't expect you guys to do that, but since we're in here, let's do it. So then to add custom CSS to the site, I'm going to click on edit site. That's going to take me to like any of the template editors, and I can go into the styles tab and additional CSS, paste that in, click save. And when I refresh this, all of my lists are just going to be a little smaller now. So this won't be just on this page. Anywhere you're using numbered lists are going to be smaller like this now. So you're probably already using those on posts. So I'm going to see if I can find an example post and make sure it looks okay. So we're just going to open like a few posts.
Hi, Mohammed. Yes, we have a recording. I can email it to you if you want to DM your email to me. Also, it is all saved within Facebook. So you can watch the live stream from beginning to end on Facebook in the event. So yes, absolutely. Just let me know if you want me to email you directly. I can do that. If not, you can watch it right here on Facebook or on YouTube. Sorry.
Okay, Lori, this is how your list looked before. And with the new styles, I think they look a little nicer. So this is on all posts now as well.
Okay.
How bad was that, Hannah? Did that make you want to die a little bit when I did code?
Nah. Show me her pretty new blocks again on the page.
I already
that
closed the...
Stinking gratifying. Too bad.
Let me go find it. I have no clue where it's at. Okay.
It's gone forever.
Nerds, it's gone forever.
I am using this later. I want you to know, Lori. Like, this is going to be used for marketing purposes.
Okay, this no title page.
So nice.
This is it. So really just like wherever colors were missing, I kind of applied those. I changed some of the pullouts to be a little less, changed out the images to use her stuff, and then I did add a tiny bit of custom CSS for this list. Makes me feel better.
And
Like,
all of
that's
this
it.
was so our extremely custom client Lori could get the blocks that we already offer in Baked and Branded, which is our pre-made theme that comes like this out of the box.
Yes. Honestly, Lori, if I were spending more time on this, I would like update the buttons to look more like your default buttons and stuff like that. I'd be
Mm,
a little extra, but like with almost no work, it looks really good. Super
yeah,
easy to use.
so cute.
What's next, guys?
Can I do this one? This is another one. This is being used for tell all your friends. Join us. We'll build you fun things. Okay, so we did Laura's drop shadow table, fun table, styled table, however we say that. We did Lori's blocks to get her up to snuff with Baked and Branded. I
I
should
went a
have.
little overboard with Baked and Branded.
So, yeah, we spent a lot of time on that. I think I'm really happy with the product. It's better than
Yeah,
anything we've made in a long time, in my opinion.
rude.
Except for all of the really custom client themes.
Oh yeah, obviously those. You don't like any of my plugins though? Come on now.
I like your plugins, but Baked and Branded is
They're
my
just not
favorite.
pretty.
It's not as pretty. Those are functionality. This is full of style and fun
Yeah.
and blocks, and you don't have to have the technical expertise to make it pretty. It just comes like this, and all you need is content and a little vision to make it happen. Do we have any more questions? Mohammed, did you have a question that you wanted us to answer while we're here? Laura, do you have more questions? Lori, do you have more requests? Admit that that was like a really good use of 20 minutes of your life. I'm so proud of Lauren. Was it even 20 minutes?
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think it was like 10.
Thinking about that table, how I'd make that table.
Oh gosh. Are tables something that you even want?
Well, that's why I would make it differently, is because normally I wouldn't want to use tables because they're not like responsive. Um, they don't collapse well on mobile. If you have to have tables, there is a plugin called Table Press that like can help you manage really complicated tables. If you have a ton of data. Oh, look at how cute my hair looks when I tie it in a knot. But I wouldn't use that unless you really needed to, like if you really needed a complicated table. Otherwise, I would try and do it with different, like the code is kind of gets more complex because you can't just type into a table that just like looks the way you want it to. But let me see.
I'm with Lori. I thought tables were a bad idea these days. I thought they were like dinged.
I feel like that table's simple enough that it's not a huge deal.
Okay.
But like, yeah, there used to be times when people made like whole websites with tables and they don't work on mobile.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, for Laura, like I feel like it's not gonna be the worst thing to have that table. Especially because when we looked at Julie's site and looked at it on mobile, like it wasn't so long that you couldn't read the content in there. It just like got smaller. But like if you needed there to be longer content, then I would have it collapse differently. Um, I probably would use like a column block or a grid
Yeah.
because you'd have like title or like, I mean, section answer. You want these to be stacked, but then you want 4 of them to be side by side. This keyboard shortcut is not working for me today and it's driving me up a wall.
Ooh, so
I'd
you
probably do
like
something like this.
boxed in look. Yep. Here we go.
And then I would do like, that way they could be side by side. So then, I mean, we still have to style this and then there's limitations as well, but for something simple, I feel like this would work as well because you have them stacked, but then when you're on mobile, you can actually get them side by side.
I like that a lot.
The problem with this, so like, let's try and style all of these pretty much the same. I'm gonna give this a background color, or she wanted it on the bottom. Do a background color with just like a little bit of padding. So it looks more like this. So let's replace all of these. Nope, it doesn't want me to. Ooh. Okay, so like this looks good. I can change the spacing and stuff. Let me close Lori's. But like now I can still have it collapse and I can change the spacing so that it doesn't appear. If I don't want to, I can add a border around the whole thing. The problem really becomes section title is longer than the others. Answer is longer than the others. When you have content that gets longer, these are completely like independent of each other. So they wouldn't be like perfectly even. So that could definitely drive someone a little batty. I'm still thinking of how I would probably do it differently though. I would probably put them on the same row, but still give them some sort of layout. Anyway, I don't have to go into that, but there are like other ways you can do it. You just have to, there's some compromises in how it's going to end up looking.
Okay.
Potentially.
That's fair. All right, I'm seeing 5 people on here, and I've really only had 3 people talk to us. Does anyone have questions? Oh, we're down to 4.
So don't call them out.
I know, I know. Ooh, thoughts on having jump back to top on posts?
I have a personal opinion on that, but I don't really have an opinion or a research backed answer to it. I feel like it varies depending on the tech savviness of your user. There's a lot of ways to get to the top if you have a tech savvy user. If you don't have a tech savvy user, then that button might be helpful for them. But I generally just feel like it's not necessary. And I'd rather just add more content down there. Excuse me. I'd rather add more content down there and just like leave the button out personally. So yeah, I have an opinion, but like I wouldn't take it as advice. But I don't like those buttons. I don't think that they add something like really useful. A lot of people like weirdly had it rely on like JavaScript in the past. So like you don't really need to. Anything, if you want to jump to the top, you can like add just this little hashtag symbol. And then when they go to that page, it'll reload it, but it'll take them to the top. Maybe people wanted to avoid the reload or something like that. But like I avoid JavaScript by all means necessary.
Yeah, your posts are long due to education, but I still think like you have so much good stuff in there that they're likely clicking into something else and going to another page anyway. That's the goal, right? Stickiness. Having to move around on your site? No.
Me, yes. Yeah, Lori says yes. I feel like a lot of the people that are reading really long things on the internet are probably more tech savvy. This is totally opinion based at this point. But like if you're reading, like if you aren't really tech savvy, you're probably just going to like a video or you stumble upon it or something like that. But if you're like diving deep for an educational post, you probably are like using the internet and you know the keyboard shortcut to get to the top of the page. Or you know that you can like tap on the little bar at the top of your phone and it'll scroll you up to the top. Also, if I'm reading a long educational post, I'm probably not jumping to the top. I'm looking for a specific piece, so I'm scrolling to wherever that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. I'm sure other people have strong opinions on it.
Do you want that anchor link, Lori? Are you asking for it?
We could do that. It's pretty easy. There's something down here. Yeah, she has one. See? So,
Boom.
like, for hers, I did do that hashtag symbol. So it just pops up to the top of the page.
You have one.
On this site, she has one, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Maybe she's talking about her other site.
You're right.
Wait, I have one?
I knew that was coming.
Lori, you have one. It's the first link here on the left.
Should we
See what
shoot
it looks like
up
on
so you
mobile.
can find it?
Maybe because it's not on its own line on mobile.
Maybe. I don't know. That's fun.
Oh my goodness. What are we gonna do with her?
Love her.
Okay. I'm gonna be talking to that.
About to.
Any more questions, guys?
Woohoo. We're dancing. We're waiting on questions. Lauren Scott, is that kombucha? I thought you were drinking bone broth. I thought you were sicky.
I did have bone broth earlier, but I can't have a live without kombucha, so I went and got some from the store. When I first started drinking it too, I was like, oh, this burns a little. But I already opened it. We're consuming that. Surely it's good for colds.
I don't know about that.
Don't think too hard about it then.
I won't. You've somehow
right.
had it stacked. Kombucha and
You
live
guys-
streams.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other like questions or challenges? Otherwise, Hannah's just gonna make me talk about boring stuff.
I mean, I could make her dance. Dance challenge, go.
I don't want to dance.
We're dancing until someone gives us something. Everyone's about to dive off this live stream.
Bye. Let's talk about stuff we've heard in the industry recently then.
Ooh, let's talk about all the things Hannah's messed up today on a related note.
No, let's talk about helpful things.
Okay. So we're not spreading misinformation again.
Yeah, guys, we sent out an email about like some people
We
have had not Recipe Maker,
rocket.
Rocket issues, and we don't know why. It seems like settings have changed or something.
Lori
Got
has
misunderstood.
had issues.
So yeah, she's one that's had
One of them.
issues
Yeah.
for like an existing thing on her site, but it's not working anymore. Got it working, but yeah. So we sent out a thing that was just like, hey, double check your sites, make sure everything's working. And then we had multiple people say that get worried about it. And they thought that we either said it was related to a recent Google update or that it was impacting traffic.
Yeah,
Um,
that one.
yeah.
It's fine.
Agreed, Lori. It's important. I even have it installed on the demo site for Baked and Branded. But you and I have Handle the Heat. They also have a lot of like WP Rocket. We want to do something that seems simple. Why is this suddenly not working? Issues. Oh yeah. So they said we don't have any concrete findings related to the particular issue that we saw on Lori's site, which was the remove unused CSS, like had her menu stop working, but it had been working previously. So yeah, we'll just do away with menus, guys. We don't need them. That's my plan. They use JavaScript.
She's over that.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the industry?
We've had a lot of people come back from their like Raptive conference or something.
Yeah.
We don't get invited to Raptive stuff. We sometimes get invited to Mediavine stuff. So we sometimes go to that and know, but Raptive we have to hear second or third hand. So we've had a number of requests come in from clients who got audits, right? So a lot of stuff in the post header where they're recommending.
Yeah, they had their one-on-one client meeting, their annual meeting, I guess, with some of our
Oh,
people.
okay.
But then others went to a conference last week. So
I don't know exactly what they're recommending. I know that, well, this is like got nothing on it. It's making me scroll really far.
hmm.
Oh, I bet it's from this ad. Okay. Anyway,
I think it's a lot
um,
like above the
you
fold
think,
content, right?
yeah, a lot of what they're trying to optimize like above the fold, which varies from device from like person to person, but some kind of like general content. They're trying to get like author information with photos up there. I think this is something that I had a client ask me about recently about like who recommends which dates on their posts. Right
Mm.
now, I don't even know. I know that I have some clients that specifically are looking to have both the published and updated dates. And then I have some clients that are looking for just one. And I don't know who's recommending what. I just know that we're still divided on which is right. So in terms of like post dates, that's been some discussion on getting that up there. Um,
And we do have a plugin to show both. Is it to show both, right?
yeah, it helps with showing.
Modified.
Well, it helps if you're doing your updated date no matter what. So if you want to show your updated date, then we have like post modified smarter or something like that.
Let's say
Um,
super modified. Man, it sounds like
yes,
broken English when you say it.
it does. It made sense when I named it, but I'm not worried about it anymore. But like the takeaway from that plugin is that if you have published the post but never modified it, that date won't ever show. And so we changed the logic so that it will always show, but if it hasn't been modified, it'll show your original published date as a fallback.
Cool.
Yeah. And so I think that that's available. I believe so. There's like a number of plugins we created that are available with all baked and branded purchases. So if
Yeah.
you need that particular type of date, I believe that one's in it. Um,
I think
and
so.
that way, yeah, you'll have that. Another thing, I don't know if everyone's using this, but I think because we have a couple minutes, I'll mention it. Let me see if I can do it on Lori's site somewhere. If you don't have what's the grid plugin? Do you know the name of that one, Hannah?
Grid variation options.
Yes, grid variation options. I recommend that one because there's so many places where grid makes sense to use. And so basically, the grid is helpful for by default, if you use grid, it'll it'll usually show you like three on or like whatever columns you have set on desktop, but then always like one after another on mobile, which is fine. Some people really want to have those like bigger items on mobile, but if you're wanting to do things side by side on mobile or on tablet, it gives you the options to do that. I feel like, oh, this site will be better because it should have a grid on it already. So right here, these options don't exist by default. Like I would just be able to choose columns and then on mobile, it would do the columns like it would just stack them. And so if I want to have them show up side by side, then this grid variation options plugin gives you the ability to say like how many columns you want and it just ignores whatever is up here. I normally make it match because I that's my flavor of OCD, but you don't have to. You'll just use these. So if you're not using that, this will probably make your life easier and give you more control over what your mobile looks like because I know we tend to like to look at things on desktop and make it look nice there. And then we might not have as much control over mobile if we've optimized that first.
Yeah. That's one of Lauren's favorite bits of feedback whenever I'm like, my site is ugly, fix my little blog. And she's like, your grids are janky. You need
Always. I don't know how you mess up your grids.
I
Are
take
they
her
still messed
pretty
up on
leave.
here?
Where are you looking? Of course they are. You don't want to know.
Yeah, like I would have those side by side.
That
I mean,
terrible.
this
Ooh,
you have 5 here, I would have like probably 3 and 2 below, or I would do 6 so I could have 3 and 3.
look, it's fine. We're
These are
ignoring
all stacked. I mean,
anyway.
stacked isn't bad, you just have to like know that that's what works best for your audience. I
Mm.
tend to like stuff side by side because I don't like scrolling as much.
And we've
But then
recently
like here, like
side
these
by
should be stacked. These should
side.
be stacked. Why do you have them side by side?
No clue. Couldn't tell you.
They should be stacked, or at least 2. Maybe it was 2 and you only wanted I don't know. You know what? You do weird stuff.
I do. I'm good at messing up pretty sites that Lauren makes.
She's just gonna do something real quick and she's gonna fix it, guys.
Yeah. It's only 5 minutes and then I get bored and forget and it's broken forever.
Yeah. Do you like that I just went to that site, showed it off for you?
I'm a little
Were you ready
embarrassed.
to have that broadcast?
Absolutely not. I was actually considering buying a different domain and moving a ton of content over recently.
That's a bad idea. You should definitely keep that.
Well, according to the Mediavine folks, it's a great idea. If they are one up to the other versus side by side, would that impact Google scores? Ooh,
Good question.
I don't know.
I think so. Are we talking about like SEO? Or are we talking about speed? I
Hmm.
don't really think that there's a big difference between either. Well, so SEO, I hate to comment on SEO because SEOs have strong opinions, and I'm not trying to get them to come after me.
Mhm.
So as much as possible, like if it relies on an SEO, like there's going to be disclaimers on my end because like SEOs will email me and tell me I said something wrong, and I just don't have that fight in me. So yeah, Core Web Vitals, excellent. I know a lot more about site speed. Although I know less about IMP because I haven't specialized in speed in a while. I used to do a lot of speed audits. But then NerdPress is like specialized in that. So now I just refer everything over to NerdPress for a lot of speed stuff. IMP is a pretty tricky one because a lot of things can impact it. But I don't know that um, images, especially image size, are going to impact. It's awesome on desktop, but mobile's like, no, we hate. Girl, I looked at your mobile, it does not hate you.
Christopher and I were actually looking at Lori's mobile last week and playing with like the settings for like you have short pixel too, don't you? You're using image optimization tools and it still kind
So
of hates you.
do H speed. Okay. We're gonna open up a post and look at that. I know we're at the end of our time, guys. So I appreciate you guys being here. If you want to stick around and do a little bit of speed stuff, you can.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me explain this a little bit to you, Lori. So up here, what it's showing like immediately, this is what is your 30-day rolling average. And this is based on Chrome users, like real users, and how they're interacting with your site. And so it says failed, just so dramatic, because you don't have green for these 2 items. But like, look how close you are, and you're not in the red. Um, and so just look like those show up immediately because they are like data that Google has in a database. Everything down here that just loaded, that's being like simulated in order to get more precise answers for you on things you can look at. And so if you're wanting to improve IMP and time to first byte, these are, you're not going to see changes in these unless you're monitoring them over time. So like if you make a change one day, for you to fully see how that change impacted everything, you'd have to wait 30 days.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple companies that will do changes every like maybe 7 to 14 days because they will track it every day and see like is it trending upward. And I know NerdPress has a dashboard where they do that, for example. So if they make a change, they can say like, oh, we can see it's improving versus like it's going down. So it's kind of that's a huge pain. You can't see immediately what's going to happen. But down here, you can get some suggestions and they can be sorted. Time to first byte, I'm going to say in a very generic and broad way that this is typically hosting or like hosting can help with that. It's not entirely true. There's a lot of nuances to it, but um, that would be something that you can ask your hosting about. and potentially get an answer from them. INP. Of course, they're not going to show us this. So INP is not, you can only get it from real recordings. There are ways that you can like look at that information, but they're usually not very accurate because you'd be looking at your one device and they're looking at lots of different devices. So really what I would do is I would look through the suggestions here and see if there's anything that you can improve. And I'll go through those. WP Engine pointed to WP Rocket for time to first byte. Yeah, because there is stuff like that. Like, it's so tedious, which is why nobody likes speed stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't really worry about it unless you're like, you've got really bad scores up here. You're in the red on a lot of things. Like, you get penalized for having a slow site, but you, according to Google, as far as we can trust them, you don't get rewarded for having a fast site. And again, I don't specialize in speed anymore, so I'm working with what I know, but there probably are other recommendations from other people. Okay, so this is telling us the largest contentful paint is your title. It says that that's coming from a render display. I wonder if it's because we're using, this is not a custom font though. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure we're not using a custom font on your site at all. Oh, font family. Yeah, this is just like default fonts. So I'm not even sure why this title. I mean, it's good in my opinion that it's a title instead of an image. If anything, here's what I would do probably. I would go into performance. I do actually. I think I would throttle to a slower. Hannah, this is killing you, huh? I'll speed it up.
That's okay.
I try and disable the cache and throttle my connection so that I can see what's kind of shifting as it loads. I'm only looking at desktop, but I know, Laura, you would need to look at mobile. I feel like that loaded and I didn't really see anything happen. Let me do a hard refresh and see. Okay, so this is definitely a better representation of a slow connection without caching, like how it's loading. It really came in really quickly. I didn't see this delay. It looks like your logo is loading pretty slow. This image kind of makes sense. Those are going to be deferred and lazy loaded. Let's see what it looks like on mobile if I do a hard refresh again. Laura, thanks for coming. Enjoy your afternoon. Yeah, so I don't even see anything happening with this title that would worry me. DOM size, this is going to be about the amount of content on your page. It can be due to like complicated layouts, like where we have to use a lot of groups and things like that. But usually, like if you just have like a really long post, you're going to have much higher DOM count. And like comments, that's a big factor as well. It's usually why we paginate comments. I'm looking at this. I don't know. Text compression, unused JavaScript, you only have 2. I mean, I don't see anything. Well, there is some sort of Google font that says it's loading Bitter specifically. We do load Bitter. So it says like do better with Bitter, but I don't really see anything I'd worry about. You have one image showing up. Images aren't typically a huge deal because they're being lazy loaded. There is a lot of optimization that could be done on them. I just don't find it's worth it anymore. We used to do a ton of it. It was like a major thing we did, but the maintenance on it and the setup is just like not worth it. And I know image optimization is something that like a lot of plugins and WordPress core work on. So I think just using something like just working with by default is going to be your best bet because then you can utilize whatever updates come out in plugins and in core. And I know that even browsers are trying to improve how images load. I mean, for me, I'm looking at this. I don't see anything that I'm like, oh, I would definitely change that. especially since some of the things are like this title. I don't know why it thinks that's so large, but it's text. So I personally wouldn't worry about it, but and I know I said this in an email, but just to reiterate for everyone that's on the video with us, um, I do refer everything speed related to NerdPress now because they have so many people that are with them for speed stuff. Like they have a dashboard where they monitor everyone's speed, and they have like team members that specialize in it, and that's all they do. Um, and I used to do a ton of speed, but now that they have that expertise, like that's something that I feel like is handled, and I would happily let them take on that stuff. So
Yep, they're lovely. They take care of it. It's great. A little Slack channel with them where they handle all of the things, and it's just the best to happen to us. Do you remember the days of speed audits? You're like, yes, Hannah, I do.
I do. Speed was not fun, and it can be expensive. So because they have so many clients, like they can see trends in mass.
Yeah.
But that's not where my passion lies, so I don't envy them for that now. Yeah, we did that. I'm done with it. All
No.
right, I'm having trouble breathing.
Should we let you go so you can go find some good meds for your sniffles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm really glad that we got to hang out here and answer these questions, guys. These Wednesday lives are fun, so as long as you guys keep coming, we will keep having them, and hopefully we'll get more people and more questions that keep it exciting.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.